This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Man killed in Manchester after simple argument. An argument between two men at a shop in William Peace, Highburn District, Manchester last night turned deadly. A man identified by the alias Flops died after being chopped. His attacker is being sought by the police. It is reported that both men were at a shop around 11:30 p.m. when an argument developed about who was more knowledgeable about places and who had more exposure to different things. The dispute escalated and the Flops reportedly attacked the other man with a knife, injuring him. The bleeding man, who is now a suspect in the investigation, reportedly ran from the shop to evade his attacker. However, Flops reportedly pursued the injured man to his home, where another confrontation ensued. During the ordeal, Flops sustained the chops to the side of his head and later succumbed to his injuries. 16-year-old shot while attempting to rob licensed firearm holder. A 16-year-old male is to face the court on charges of assault with the intent to rob and illegal possession of firearm following an incident on Brissett Avenue, Kingston 20 on Tuesday, May 31. Reports are that about 8:30 p.m., the teen and another male traveling on a motorcycle approached a licensed firearm holder who was in the process of closing his gate. The motorcyclist allegedly turned off the headlamp on the vehicle. The pillion reportedly got off the bike with a firearm in hand, instructing the man not to move. The licensed firearm holder pulled his weapon and discharged it at his attackers, who escaped. The teen turned up at hospital with gunshot wounds. He was subsequently pointed out during an identification parade and later charged. Sentencing postponed for Jamaican policewoman on drug charges in U.S. Jamaican cop Shelly Allen, who smuggled over 1,000 grams of cocaine into the United States, will have to wait another 6 weeks to hear her punishment. Allen was scheduled to be sentenced today. However, the sentencing hearing was postponed until July 27 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, U.S. authorities confirmed. Allen, an 18-year veteran of the Jamaica police force, faces up to 40 years in prison. As part of her guilty plea entered in April, she admitted that the drugs were on and inside her body when she arrived at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport on February 3 on a flight from Montego Bay. In total, Allen had over 1,000 grams of cocaine when she entered the U.S., about 200 in her vagina, about 143 grams in her bra, and about 690 grams inside her stomach. Allen is also facing allegations in the U.S. state of Wisconsin that she is the leader of a lottery scamming syndicate that fleeced 20 mainly elderly Americans out of U.S. $1.69 million. Policeman and a girlfriend freed of sex crimes. A policeman and his girlfriend, who were accused of the sexual assault of a woman at their apartment, were on Tuesday freed in the home circuit court. The trial could not proceed as the woman did not turn up for court. The court was informed that the complainant expressed that she had moved on with her life since the alleged 2016 incident and was no longer interested in the case. The court was also told that her lack of interest was not because of any threats or inducement. As a result, Constable Michael Brown, 36, who is based at the Hunts Bay Police Station, was freed of rape, and his girlfriend, Natoya Thompson, was freed of aiding and abetting rape. The woman, then aged 22 in May 2016, had reported to the police that after attending a party with a policeman and his girlfriend, she was invited back to their apartment after feeling drowsy from a drink she was served at the event by one of the accused. She had reported that the policeman's girlfriend lowered her into a compromising position while at their home. It was alleged that the policeman was aided by his girlfriend, who readily handed him a condom to commit the act of rape. The policeman and his girlfriend were subsequently arrested and charged. Both accused, through their lawyers Peter Champagne QC for the policeman and Caprice Morrison for the woman, had strongly denied the allegations. In the case of the policeman, he had asserted that the act was by consent. In the Klansman gang trial, judge to dismiss firearm evidence due to shabby police handling. Chief Justice Brian Sykes this morning signaled his intent to dismiss the firearm evidence in relation to a gun that an ex-gangster helped the police to recover due to the shabby handling of the weapon by investigators. One of the prosecution's main witnesses, an ex-member of the Klansman Wandon gang, had testified that he had tricked reputed leader Andre Blackman Bryan into giving him the rifle. He testified that he told Bryan that he was going to take it to be repaired, but instead met two police investigators in Portmore St. Catherine and handed over the firearm. The ex-gangster had reportedly collected the weapon from defendant Royal Taylor. The court heard that the two detective sergeants then took the gun to the Caymanas police station in Portmore St. Catherine for safekeeping before it was transported to the laboratory the next day. But when the evidence box with the gun was presented to the court, the label indicated that the weapon was retrieved at Port Royal Street in Kingston. The ballistic officer who had collected the weapon at the laboratory had indicated that he was told by one of the investigators that was where the gun was handed over. Consequently, during the prosecution's response to the no-case submission for Taylor, Sykes criticized the way in which the gun was handled and blamed the two senior officers for their handling of the weapon. The judge questioned why the officers had stopped at the station, while noting that no reasonable explanation had been advanced as to their reasons. He also questioned why both went to the station but had failed to properly label the weapon, which had no description, instead of leaving it up to an unknown station guard. While recalling the evidence of the lead detective that he had not placed any identifying mark on the weapon or had noted any unique marking, the judge said he cannot accept with any great degree of certainty that it was the same weapon that the witness had handed over. Furthermore, Sykes noted that no record was available from the police station to confirm that the two officers had attended on the station with the rifle. The judge, who also took into consideration that the two officers were not rookies, charged that no attention was placed on the details or on doing what they were trained to do. As a result, he told the prosecutor, "Let me put you out of your misery. The evidence is not good enough." Two shot, one fatally in Old Harbour. One person was killed and another injured in an attack by gunmen in Old Harbour, St. Catherine this morning. About 8 o'clock, a man was standing in the bus park on Market Street when he was held up by four thugs who demanded money. The man refused and ran. The thugs opened fire at him but hit two men who were customers in a bar. The gunmen fled. The injured men were taken to hospital where one of them, Tashawn Douglas, died. The man targeted in the attack escaped unharmed. Man shot to death in front of family. A man was shot to death just as he and his family pulled into their garage in Betheltown, Westmoreland Tuesday night. He has been identified as a 37-year-old Leighton Keller Hilton. Residents told the news that they heard loud explosions coming from the direction of Hilton's home in the Galloway District section of Betheltown. They later found his body under a tree in front of his yard. The tree is across the road from an early childhood institution. The residents stated that it appeared Hilton's killers hid in a corner near his house and waited for him to arrive. The moment him come out of the car in the garage, them start shoot him. Him lady run out of the car upon the veranda, leaving the kids in the car, and go back for them. One resident who did not want to be identified told the news. According to the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Corporate Communications Unit, Hilton was shot and killed by unknown assailants. Reports from the Betheltown police are that about 8:15 p.m., Hilton arrived home and was about to exit his vehicle when he was attacked by men armed with firearms. He was shot in the head and upper body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Hilton's cousin, who identified himself as Sonny, said he had been a family man. "He's everything good. It's not like he's a man that go around and give problem. He's a man we check on people. The family is grieving," he said. Saint Anne man sentenced to 23 years in prison for killing common-law wife. A St. Anne man was on Tuesday sentenced to 23 years in prison in the Home Circuit Court for killing his common-law wife last year. Cavell Lindo, a farmer of Cascade, last month pleaded guilty to the lesser charge of manslaughter. Lindo will serve 13 years and 5 months after the judge took into account his guilty plea and the time served. It was reported that on the night of February 6, 2021, Lindo went to a bar in Cascade and saw 32-year-old Kenisha Reed in a compromising position with a man. Lindo accused Miss Reed of having an affair. This led to an argument which developed into a fight at their home. A knife was used to stab Miss Reed, who died at the scene. Lindo was also injured during the incident. Several arrested in relation to $45 million theft from JMMB Bank. Several persons were taken into custody on Tuesday during multiple police operations in the corporate area in connection with the alleged theft of more than $40 million from JMMB Bank. The detainees are said to be members of a fraud ring. Tuesday's operations followed a probe which began last year involving the Financial Investigation Division, Constabulary Financial Unit, and the Fraud Squad. The news was informed that $45 million was illegally withdrawn from the account of a customer at a JMMB Bank. The money was then transferred to accounts operated by the suspects. The bank uncovered the unauthorized withdrawals and called in the fraud squad. The detainees are under investigation for fraud and money laundering. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.